Ready? Good evening. I'd like to call the Winterville Human Relations Board meeting for August 28th, 2025 to order. I'd like to begin by asking Councilwoman Robertson to please give us the invocation, and then immediately following that, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we give thanks. We give thanks for this beautiful day that you've given us. We give thanks for our community and all of those who serve in our community on a volunteer basis. We thank you for the ones that have gathered here tonight to discuss and to work on human relations in our community. Let our efforts not be in vain. We thank you for everything that you've given us. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome every Winterville Human Relations Board member. I'd like to welcome Councilwoman Robertson, who serves as our liaison, as well as our town clerk, Mr. Harvey, to this meeting. More importantly, I'd like to welcome those who will view us or are viewing us this evening. The next item on the agenda is excused absences. Town Clerk Harvey.
Yes, Mr. Bottoms sent in that he was not going to be able to attend tonight. And Ms. Daniels is going to, had another engagement, but plans to come in late.
Thank you very much for that. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. If each of the board members can take a look at the agenda thoroughly. And then once you all are satisfied, I'd like to entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda. I motion to approve. Second. We have a motion to approve the agenda by Mrs. Roach and seconded by Vice Chair Carmen. With that being said, open the floor for any discussion. And at this time, I just wanted to add that although the agenda reflects September, and I believe it reflects October, there was another project map sent to everyone within the last few minutes, which is more complete. So when we're reviewing the project roadmap, please refer to the updated one. But if there is no more discussion, I entertain a vote for the motions that were made. We could vote by raising our hand for the approval of the agenda. So we have a unanimous vote for the members present. And so we will move on. And we do also have a quorum, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the next item for discussion is the survey of residents for the Watermelon Festival. The Winterville Human Relations Board conducted a survey of the Winterville residents, and I'm going to turn this over to Vice Chair Carmen to elaborate and share data information.
Okay. All right, so if you guys see before you, there's a packet, the survey, the questions, and kind of charts to let you guys know percentages and things like that. So when doing the survey, we broke everything down. We had both online and paper responses. And if you can see on your spreadsheets, you may see some that doesn't have dates. Those were the ones that I had to put in by hand because they were the ones that were, written out. So in the demographics, about 73.5% of the people that we spoke to at the Watermelon Festival lived in Winterville from the ages of 18 to 65, but a majority of the people that did respond were between the ages of 30 to 64. So I think we had a pretty, as far as the generations are concerned, a great age group, just to hear back from the people that, live here. So next I'll dig into wellness. If y'all can go to that page, I'm kind of gonna go in order here. So we broke it down, kind of to try to organize it around our missions pillars, which are dignity, safety, equity, inclusion, and wellness. So that's, what the questions were geared towards for the survey. So for wellness, the question was, do you feel as though Winterville offers resources and activities that support your overall well-being, whether it's health, family, equity of life? A majority of people, about 57%, said that yes, they did feel as though Winterville did have resources. It was very supported. There were some people that would have more options as far as more sports, basketball, tournaments and things like that, soccer and wrestling. Some were also speaking about the community center. That was something that was also important as well, and a community garden, which I believe we have a community garden.
We have Mount Shiloh has a community garden. Overall, Winterville does not have a community garden. That's what it is. Okay. But the community is more than welcome.
Gotcha. Okay.
They welcome the community to come in and help with that garden.
Okay. So that's probably something we can, promote. Okay. So next we're gonna, if y'all have any questions about that, we're gonna go to dignity on the next page. Did y'all have any questions about wellness?
I did.
Okay.
So overall, over 50% said that Winterville does offer resources and activities.
Yes.
But also, which is great for health, family, and quality of life. I want to hone in on what they asked for or what they needed. And you said, again, it was basketball, the community center, and what else?
The community center, we have more family activities, which we will kind of dig more into on what residents said could make it better, because they did give specific things. Okay. And that's the first page, but we'll get to that in a minute. So the next thing we have dignity. The question was, do you feel people in Winterville are treated with respect no matter their background or circumstances? A majority of the people said most of the time they do feel as though there's respect here. So some residents, they did say they feel as though they could be heard a little bit more, because they feel as though they're the most important part of the town. So, and also something that stuck out was they would like to have more leadership that cares. These are things that they wrote, which you can see on the Excel sheet. Yes. As well as wanting the town more united, and not divided. So that was something that their concerns were. but a majority of the people did feel as though, they were treated with dignity, like outside of those things.
And if I could note, on the graph, the most of the time was 41.3%.
Yes, ma'am.
So overall.
Yes, overall, yes, overall. Okay, so the next thing would be safety. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, those were the, like, just correct. So like I said, a lot of them, it's felt like maybe they could be heard more, some listening sessions, from the council or just in the community, so they can come out and speak. And as well as the leadership was also important to them. I guess they feel as though the leadership that we have now should care more about the residents here. And also united the town, because they feel as though there's division. Yep. Mm-hmm. And also, like I said, on the first page, you can kind of see these are things that they wrote down. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was dignity. So next thing we have is safety. We asked if you felt as though Winterville spaces were, safe. A majority of the people felt as though Winterville was safe, which is awesome, because you want to feel safe in the place that you live. The only concerns that they did have was there some streets as though they felt could have more lighting. So I guess that's where we would kind of come in and see what specific areas, because no one said a specific area, but they did say better lighting on some streets. Yes, ma'am. And also another concern was more crosswalk, because for safety purposes. Yes. And for walkability is something that that was mentioned a lot. So more places to walk. And also, there was someone that made a comment about cleaning up near the school, specifically A.G. Cox. Okay. It was a student that mentioned that. But that's where we stood for safety. Do y'all have any questions for that?
No, I don't. Lighting on the street is something that we can refer to some of the departments in the electric department. And then crosswalks and walkabilities are some projects that are kind of emerging here in Winterville. Okay. There is a Safe Streets program that they are doing. And like I said, if it was more specific, but those departments, now, once we convey that, we'll be able to go and look throughout, maybe particularly in the industry, to see where, that might stand out.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, so we move on to equity. The question was, do you believe everyone in Winterville has a fair access to opportunities and service, jobs, education, town programs, etc.? A majority of the people did say yes, that they felt as though there was equity in Winterville in those areas. A couple of concerns from some of the residents were the event space rentals, as far as being able to participate in events such as the Watermelon Festival, and the rental cost being so high. So that was a huge problem with small business owners, as we've heard that before and conveyed that message, but that has been something that has been brought to our attention on multiple occasions. Yes. And also more opportunities for the youth here, as far as youth programs. They weren't very specific, which I think we can probably next time maybe ask them to kind of dive into it more. But that was the concerns for equity. And just want to know if anybody had any questions about that.
No. Anybody have any questions?
Okay. Okay, so we're just moving along to inclusion. The question was, do you feel included in Winterville's events and programs? A majority of people said yes, that they do feel included in Winterville's events and programs. Some people did leave concerns as though they would love to have more multicultural events, you know, for a little bit more diversity, and specifically speaking to our Latino community, as well as having things translated for them so that they can, you know, understand and be more included. So those were some things that were mentioned as well. So cultural and age diverse programs as well.
I recall one of the families saying that a lot of the events are encompassed around youth that the cutoff age is like 10 to 12. And they said once you get to 12 and up, or 14, between 14, 18, there's not much for them to do. So we had a conversation about that, just seeing how we could expand some of the ages, or, you know, do some events that include older.
Okay. Okay, we got any questions about that? On the board? All right. So we're gonna move on to the focus areas. We did ask for them to name top, you know, their top 3 things that they would like for us to focus on. They did way more than 3, but hey, that's great either way. So as you can see on the chart here, a majority of the people, as you can see, they would love to see more diverse festivals, cultural events celebrating diversity. So that was a big one there, as well as family and wellness programs, as well as community building safety, you know, and the trust more in the community. That was something that they also would like to see more of in Winterville, as well as some respect and dignity education. So what that looks like, they would like to see that as well. And one more here. Okay, no, that was the top 3. So family wellness programs, community safety and trust, and more diverse events, multicultural specifically.
Multi.
Yes, ma'am.
I do have a question. So when we look at the focus points, the checkpoints, which this was the latter part of the survey.
Yes.
And when we go back to safety, but then we see one of the focal points that those who took the surveys selected was community safety and trust. Was there any elaboration on that, or what might they meant? Because while we know, I think it was over 40%, 41% said they felt safe. But when you look at
A contradiction.
and the reason why I'm pointing this out, because these surveys are very important, and I don't want anything misrepresented.
Gotcha.
Right? I don't want, and also, when we took the survey, it was residents overall. What was the demographics of the residents that took it, right? We have the ages, but narrowing down the demographics, the question number 4, how safe do you feel in Winterville's public spaces, parks, events, and businesses? But back here, they say community safety and trust. So I would be, I would pose a wonder.
Okay.
Where would they need this community safety and trust?
That's a great question.
Right. So,
Because there was really some people left stuff, but a lot of people didn't like elaborate as much as, you know, I would have liked. But there, if you can turn to the first page, which is actually the next part that we can, you know, discuss. Yeah, so these were actually things that they wrote. I did try my best to, you know, copy and paste specifically
absolutely.
what they asked for in those areas. If you could just take a moment to just look
Yes.
through the entire sheet, as well as the note that is written there.
I like the fact that there was, like a dialogue, like they were able to explain what they meant, because that is the way in which we can hone in and integrate our mission
Yes.
into that. So from what I see is they want more festivals, diverse cultural events, youth and older activities, skating, affordable event space. So
Referring to the,
events and festivals.
yes, with like the Watermelon Festival specifically, that's what they were speaking about there.
And then, again, like you said, comes in second, community center, basketball tournaments.
Yes.
Soccer field, wrestling. And I think this would be very good to share with Parks and Recreation.
Yes.
And or just different organizations here in Winterville, and then community engagement came in third. Listening to residents, stronger caring leadership. And when I hear that, for myself, serving as a council person, this Councilwoman Robertson, I wish that they could have expounded. I was a little bit all over the place that day, so I want to know specifically when they say caring leadership. I know you said they want to feel heard. How does that look when you care? Does that mean like going out more to the residents or being in a space more with them, or, you know, just showing that you care, expressing that you care? So I will try to gauge that whole.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really assume, but showing that you care, me personally, is just showing up. I mean, I know that at times we do have events and things of that nature, but as far as getting people out, I think we might have to go out. Because I don't know how many people feel comfortable coming in this room and open and speaking in this room. So I think, you know, like how y'all go out for campaigns and knock on doors to get people to come vote for you.
Yeah. Go to their door.
Yeah, I think you gotta do the same thing. Get out and knock on their door and ask them what it is they want or what it is they need and things like that. That same energy.
Same interest.
Same interest. Personally. Yes, ma'am. So, also, we heard from a lot of people that mentioned, you know, maybe some newsletters, so they would love to hear more from us, and what we have going on, meetings and things like that. So when we do have, you know, roundtables and things, we could personally shoot. So we did collect a couple of emails.
Yes.
For that purpose, so that we can, you know, create that newsletter, so we can stay more in contact with, you know, the residents. So that was something else as well, and that is pretty much it. And it's social media, and we know how important that is. They would like to see us more on social media, plus the news, you know, the email newsletter. They would like to be a little bit more involved in that way.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Vice Chair, for actually taking the time to put together, like compose, You kind of knew what we wanted, but you took the time and you composed it, and then you disaggregated the data. And that means a lot to us. We all were present, but you did some of the back work for it, and that means a lot. So I want to tell you thank you. No problem. Is there any other board member who has a reflection or feedback on the survey while it's on the floor?
I personally thought it was great, just being out there, engaging with people. It's definitely night and day from the year prior.
Yes.
So, I had a good time out there, just, talking and connecting with people. So, that was good.
Yes, and they were like, I think it was great because we had a better presence. The tent matched our shirts, and we were all in unison. We were out there, and they were like,
Officially.
Yes,
it
it was
really
official,
nice.
and they were kind of drawn to us, and then Vice Chair Carmen was like, "Come on."
Man, we
Come
had a
on.
good time.
It was-
And I enjoyed y'all too, just being out there with y'all and
Yeah.
getting to know, the new members and things like that. So I had a good time. I really did.
It was really good. And so what I want to say is now that we've looked at the data, we can plan forward. Like, for example, we have our roadmap, and then all of what was said, we could take in consideration when we are like developing our roadmap. Because a roadmap shows you where you're going, how to get there. But along the way, you have experiences. And or along the way, you can have a flat tire or whatever. So along the way, we can now utilize this as our tool to get us to meet some of the needs in alignment with our mission. Hopefully, our next survey, we'll be able to see different data, greater data, or less data in terms of wanting that care from leadership. Any more discussion in terms of the survey? Not, the window is closing. I think that was hugely successful. The second item for discussion is year planning overview. It's the 2026 project roadmap. And as I shared, we had one. It was 1 or 2 entries, but up until a few minutes before we started, an updated roadmap was shared. And so if we can have one of the board members, or we can do like a round robin, and we can rotate each month. We've done August, and we're in midst of the back to school support. Our August was the watermelon festival presents and the survey. And the back to school support is merging into September. But for the back to school support, items have been purchased and the school has been selected as W.H. Robinson. Does anyone want to read September?
For September, we have the Hispanic Heritage Month. I thought that would be something that would be great to reach out to our brothers and sisters here in Winterville. And I think it's great, especially hearing the feedback from the community. This is something that is absolutely needed.
I do as well. And the Hispanic Heritage Month goes up until October 15th,
Okay,
which it starts September 15th through October 15th, and that will give us time to reach out to our Hispanic neighbors. And I know you and I talked about possibly like a cultural meal or cultural dinner or cultural, because Hispanic culture
yes.
has a wide variety of parts in terms of clothing, language,
Oh, yeah.
dress. It is a lot. And so, does anybody else on the board have any ideas in terms of what we could do to highlight Hispanic heritage? As Vice Chair and I, we've had, those thoughts, but of course, we want to get your feedback, your thoughts, your ideas, to see what you may think.
Really quickly, I know that, I'm not sure if they're countywide, but Casa Azul, they are a nonprofit organization that does a lot, I know in Wilson, for the Spanish community. They do a lot of events and things like that. So I was thinking maybe, if we could reach out to them and see, what they do, what they offer, for collaboration.
For sure.
I'd agree with that too, and just to see kind of what they need, because it's hard for us to say, especially when that's not our culture.
Yeah.
I think it's best to have, a good representation before we kind of put on an event. Yeah.
What about a Mexican?
And that's another organization, and they they are very engaged in it throughout Pitt County in terms of like keeping Hispanic families updated on different legislation in the county, and just a wide variety of things. So yes, Councilwoman Robertson, we can reach out to them as well. And I think they'll have great feedback. They have come out to my school last year, and they have lots of resources. So, and then there's also Latinx, that is a organization. So those are three right there, as well as our neighbors here in Winterville. So if we maybe perhaps do a timeline, right now we're on the heels of September, and Hispanic Cultural Month begins in the middle of September. Perhaps we can set a goal by the first week, or the ending of the first week in September, to have reached out to them and see what are their thoughts. Then just keep the board abreast. Our next meeting is the 25th, but we don't know, we could possibly have something on a lot of times when we plan things, we would have to go before the council to get it approved. So, what I will do at the council meeting on September 8th is to share that we want to engage with the Hispanic culture, and by the time the meeting is on the 8th, we will have gotten feedback, and I will ask for an approval on that. So we don't have to wait until October to get an approval, because then it will be very close to November, and that will be outside. So I will propose something, if that's okay with the board. And even before I do that, if we have any additional discussion on that. If not, I am going to entertain a motion that we move towards progress of having a collaborative event with our Hispanic neighbors and Hispanic organizations within Winterville and Pitt County.
I know I'm not supposed to say anything, but I was just thinking, will they be having the markets over on the square? I think that they'll be over by then, won't they? Because that would be something that I can visualize. Having, like an event over there with the music and stuff, say on Saturday, or say 2 hours or something like that. Choose a Saturday and just have it over there and invite your, Hispanic vendors and craftspeople and everything. And that could be something that basically, well, they got to mark off the spaces over there. And of course, I wouldn't say you have any electricity or anything, but maybe you could, that would be something different, something that we could do.
We could almost kind of do it like Aiden does it on Wednesday, and then we mark it out in Washington.
Yeah,
Both
just have music, more music. Have more music, and if we're in it, I would think so. That they could do craft items or things like that.
They may have food. They may have food, music, crafts. I think it's a good idea.
And if it was our local folks, that were doing it, I don't know any way to get in touch with them except the two churches, Gateway and the Hispanic church up here, and the people that live on Lane Street. A lot of them that live right there on Lane Street.
But then also, those options open for the organization, inviting them into Winterville. Because they may have more to show. The residents may have, but they might be a part of the organization. So reaching out and then tentatively doing a market on the square, like you said, Councilman Robertson, just reaching out to them and say, hey, we were thinking about having a market on the square with Hispanic culture as a focus. Again, we would have to collaborate with the Chamber of Commerce to see what they had planned for between those months. Because we want to do it between September and October.
When is the market on the square? Is there a market on the square between those dates?
I think
That's
so.
what I'm still looking for.
That's what I was thinking,
It is
asking.
one.
I think that's a great idea.
I don't know.
It's typically one.
You think it's too short notice?
Unless we go out
You know
there
what?
and develop a flyer. You were the one saying go to doors. We gonna have
No.
I'm just asking y'all. Flyers.
We gonna have this.
Because that's kind of word of mouth.
We having this for our Hispanic brothers and sisters.
I think that's.
I just clarified,
And
clarification.
It's their culture month.
Okay.
And we just had the survey and the watermelon festival. This is about the fastest we could get.
Yes.
I don't think it's ever
Okay.
too soon
I just.
to invite I think they would love it.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
I can invite.
And also, the Parks and Rec board would love to participate in anything that we have going on forward. They are willing to, work with us. Yes, ma'am. So just letting them know in enough time they're ready to support anything we got going on.
Yeah, and just to be on the market on the square, and they'll be bringing their stuff. There's so much preparation. They'll come, and I mean, they have amazing, outfits and attire that they can show, and it's just educational as well. And it brings a value on what does Hispanic culture bring to our community. So and I don't know if the Chamber of Commerce were having something, Now, if they are, we can utilize the community room.
Okay.
But I think bringing it right into the heart of Winterville would be awesome.
Right now, what I can find is September 18th is a market on the square. I'm not seeing one in October. Please don't hold me to that, because I'm just searching real quickly.
I think it might conclude in
I
October.
think that is because I'm not seeing anything for the
Maybe we can
October week.
still have it or extend it, because I think it concludes, like, it goes throughout the summer, and then that September one ends. But I don't think they go into October. But maybe the town can still have it there.
September 18th is the last one that I'm seeing right now.
I think we still need to move forward with, Market on the Square as our first choice, but the community room as an additional option. Also, when we're going into mid or late September, October, it could be inclement weather. So just having those options, would be good. Is there any other discussion? I think it's a wonderful.
I have a question. You said by when did you want to have reached out to those organizations?
By the end of the first week of September, like, and any one of us could, like,
That's
just
what
like, if we get in touch with them, just let others know, so we don't call double.
Okay.
Can we delegate who's gonna do it, just so we'll know and kind of have a plan when we leave
Sure.
tonight? So which one was mix? A mix?
I can reach I can reach out to either one, but I'll reach out to Latinx.
Latinx.
I can do the mix.
Mexican?
Yeah.
Are we just discussing, or is there an emotion here in this?
We are still discussing there.
Okay, I just
But,
want
I'm sorry,
to make sure I get a motion.
my bad.
yeah,
There is one.
I entertained a motion, but then we started.
That's fine, not a problem.
Gregory. Okay. Casa Azul.
But they, are.
Okay, and so you'll be the contact for them. Perfection.
And I can reach out to my church.
When you speak, please make sure you go into the microphone so
Sorry
that
about that.
it does pick it up. Thank you.
Okay.
Sherry, can we hear you now?
So I will reach out to Care for Lot, who has partnered with, one of the churches, and see if I can get information for them. They come out to a lot of the health events with them, and, you know, to get the information transcribed in Spanish. So I'll reach out to them.
That would be great. And thank you, Ms. Gregory, for, that, cause that helps, like, everybody know, cause I was thinking, what if 2 or 3 of us are calling the same? So each one have been designated.
Yes, ma'am.
Out to her church. Mexican.
Care for Lot.
Here for a lot.
And that's by September 5th? Did you say the first one?
By is that the first, end of the first week? Yep, I think if we get right on it, like tomorrow, but then we have to keep in consideration, excuse me, God bless you. Monday is holiday, so a lot of things, but by the 5th, we should kind of have a general idea. Is there any other discussion, for our roadmap for September of the Hispanic So true.
I just want us kind of all to be on the same page. So when we're reaching out, are we saying what can they offer? Are we going to do the market on the square, or kind of what should we be kind of, discussing?
What they offer, I think that's the most important thing. And,
If they're available?
yeah, and then we can kind of go from there.
Okay.
Just let them know, initially letting them know who you are and who you're representing, as a Winterville Human Relations Board, and that we wanted to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. What do they offer, and would they be willing to come out and join us? And prospectively, we're trying to get the market on the square, but the setting could be inside the community room. And if they can, what would be some dates? Like if they can give us at least 2 dates, then we can say, hey, I got this date and that date. And then we want it between, we couldn't have it September 18th, but we want it maybe, I don't know, that next in September through October 15th. We want it in their window because the Hispanic population are going to be celebrating within that month. So they probably are ready to come out with what they have. So September.
It goes through Wednesday, October 15th.
Okay. So anytime, we won't be, if we wanted the market on the square, we wouldn't be able to do it the 18th, but we could do it the 19th, prospectively. So we could do it that Friday, or like Councilwoman Robertson was saying, maybe that 20th, September 20th. I have something going on. But that 19th, and again, once we put our dates together, we can then narrow it down. But let's see what they would like.
All right.
So if we could, a motion for the Winterville Human Relations Board to reach out to our Hispanic population for prospective events. If I can have a motion.
A motion that we move forward in developing an event to honor the Hispanic community.
I second.
We have a motion made by Mrs. Gregory, and we have it seconded by Mrs. Roach. Can I have a show of hands as a vote in agreement with the motions made? And we have a unanimous vote by the board to move forward with exploring the options of, with the motion that was just made. Okay, that was good. And then we have, and I know we can't sit here, a long time, but I just wanted the board to be able to look at the roadmap. Every month is filled in. You're more than welcome to add on. Now, we have September. If we wanted to quickly look at October, that would put us, ahead of waiting until October to talk about Halloween, or the trunk or treat for the Halloween or autumn season. So in October, we have host a trunk or treat event for the community. Like to put that discussion out and just talk about that.
I was gonna say, I think that'd be a good idea. There's a lot of parents, including myself, that don't feel comfortable going out and having their kids knocking door to door. So I think that'd be a good alternative.
The board member have.
I think that if we partner with probably the police department and the fire department, we would get a great turnout. kind of how they do with the sheriff's department in, Greenville section. I think we need to kind of partner with them and see if we can get donations, for the candies and stuff like that.
I think that's a good idea as well. I was trying to think,
I think
do they do that already?
Yes,
do it.
they'll be working with the chambers downtown, trunk or treat type thing and it has taken place down in the main part down here, and they close off everything.
So we
for
could probably
everyone's information.
Can we partner with them and join them for that?
We can duly partner with them. What I would say is, this is what I would say about that. When we have a trunk or treat, how we get into other parts of Winterville?
Right.
Our families gonna all have to move to the downtown area. How do we get to areas that do not have transportation? Where there's children sitting with no way to get to anyone? Or if we do partner, what if there's a way in which we have our police department and fire department as well as us go around at some point in that evening, then come back to a base area? But I want to ensure that the majority of our children are served, because some children can't get over here, just to be honest.
Okay.
And that closes that door for them. Look, I just don't get it. So I want, as us, as human relations, to launch out a little bit further. And I don't know how that would look.
Go to them, or I'm trying to think how we could reach them.
How is the information given out for that event? Because how many were aware of it?
I wasn't.
I wasn't aware. I always go out to Greenville, to the sheriff's. I was not aware that we had that.
It's been held for several years now. Chamber puts it out and they give me the information, so it goes out. If I've got it, it'll go out in the newsletter and all of our social media and on the website.
I've been there before. It's a really nice event. They kind of have the
Lots and lots of children.
Mm-hmm.
Lots and lots, not children, families.
Yeah, okay.
That's the good thing about it. You got the mom, the dad with them, and the little kid, especially for our little kids, who would probably be trampled in your neighborhood.
Right.
They're there with their parents, and they get to walk around in their outfits and stuff. So it's very safe. The roads blocked off and everything. So it's a safe event, but it is well attended by lots of people. But just like with you saying, I didn't know about it, so I went to Greenville. You didn't look for one in Winterville. You just probably, went on whichever way you go to Greenville. And a lot of parents here probably, have done the same thing till somebody tells them about it.
And when you're in the neighborhoods that are on this side of town, you can see things. If you're on the outside, Vernon White, Old Tar side, you're not really inside of Winterville to know if something is happening.
Sometimes you are.
If you don't see it in the newsletter.
Your utility bill is not our utility bill either, so you don't get the newsletter. But it is well attended, and it's, there's some vendors there too. So, I would encourage you to partner if you can.
And they're like, they put flyers.
Sometimes for some events, there's banners out. Some events there's not. With our Winterville at Work app, it's going to spread more information quickly. And that's where I am trying to promote people, try to get the app, like download the app. Again, even with the app, I have to just advocate for the children who can't get there. That's just me. Even if it's well attended, it's not well attended by some children.
So how
And
can we get out there?
I don't know. I know we need to launch out, maybe on a note where if we have that Winterville app, if we increase the advertisement, right? Like, so that's gonna probably happen on Halloween, right? So if we start advertising it now, right? And is there, where is it? Cause I'm just gonna be honest, I've never been to it. My
It starts
children are.
right across the road here, and they close off that street, and then it goes behind Main and Mill. They use that whole parking lot there for exhibitors and stuff like that. So they have the whole parking lot behind Main and Mill, and then they have the part of Railroad Street that goes from that area all the way back to this intersection.
That's nice. That's very nice. So, we can go with it, but I'll tell you, I will be advocating to get some children over there and back.
Now, what specific places are you speaking of?
So over by the Hillcrest Park,
Okay, so behind David Jobson?
behind W.H. Robinson, and in the housing, and over in the little streets in and out, Jeanette Street, different. Those children are not, Devonshire, they're not, if they don't have a family or someone who is able to bring them, they're not.
I mean, the only option for that would be for us just to go over there.
Maybe give out some.
Yeah, we'll have to go and give out
And then
candy.
go back.
That's the only
I think
option.
that would be good. Even while that's going on, we can be in collaboration, but then also go and then also say, hey, this is happening. Perhaps we could speak to some parents at that time who did not get the advertisement, but it will be advertised on Winterville at Work. Hopefully, it will be advertised on social medias, but I think going to them will be great. So that's not to say we have to be stationed there, but we can come back, but we have to launch out. How does the board feel about us as a Human Relations Board going into those inner areas, because they are there.
I love that idea.
Yeah, they are there.
I love the idea. I'm trying to think of, logistically how it will work. So will we be doing it a week before Halloween or the trunk or treat, or how would?
So we would do it, actually, I think trunk or treat occurs on Halloween, am I correct?
Halloween, that's the 31st, correct?
Yes, sir.
That is a Friday, so I do not know when, and I will reach out to the chamber to see when they have that scheduled. They don't have it on their calendar right now.
Sure.
I think it's typically on, well, the times I've been, it's been typically on the 31st. So that's why I was thinking, how will we go out that day, or I'm all for going out.
You think at the same time as the event is going on, like us leaving and going over, is that what you were referring to?
That's what I was thinking. We could go out an hour earlier or an hour into the event and then come back and be part of the event, but just ensuring that we have, as a Human Relations Board, going out. And how does that look? Of course, if they have trunk or treat, they'll have stuff in a trunk. Perhaps one of us can fill something in the trunk and drive it over, or have bags of candy and go and pass them. Just ensuring that having this event is not stationed at one place.
It wouldn't be bad if your group, Human Relations Board, actually had a table or something at the event too, because that's what they're doing, it'd be different. Like tables passing out, or either people walking around with pumpkins passing them out, candy. So the fire department be over there and everything, so it's,
For us to have a trunk, and then even if we wanna kinda have a bigger presence, maybe we can have like a game on the side or something.
Yeah.
Just
game where
represent,
you, that would be great.
cause that's when a lot of kids will come.
Sure.
So it would be kinda difficult, I'm not saying we can't, you know, if we have a station there to kind of leave and then come back, cause we may miss some foot traffic. I don't know, I'm trying to.
So is it possible that we need to maybe focus on actually the awareness of the event? Maybe we can get with, Ms. Roach at W.H. Robinson to put flyers in the book bags of the children. We can get with, just slipped my mind, but A.G. Cox, principal, to get flyers with the children so that they know, you know, because like I said, I have never known, we always go elsewhere. And my kids just aged out maybe 4 years ago. But not even really aged out, but they go third now.
Yes.
So,
I like
maybe
the
it's the
fact
awareness.
that the schools, passing out flyers, that's a safety mechanism as well. You got it from the school, it's gonna be housed there. I would also just like to say, even if we have a table or a station there at that time, if one or two of us can go over into the inner parts of Winterville, just because we get, no matter what, there's some children who will not be privy. So just going over there and then coming back. And I don't mind volunteering doing that at all.
So do we have, I know that we've kind of become this golf cart community. Maybe we can partner with a couple people that will either drive us around in their golf carts or loan that, you know, item to us. Does the town not own? Okay. Because we did have a golf cart parade, so that means we do have a resource that maybe the town could help, with that expense, that to go out.
So I like that idea. We could ask, I can send an email out asking, are there any volunteers who'd like to bring the Human Relations Board over, just to take a ride over to ensure that any child over there who has not been able to come to where the event is taking place can have access to candy. Because they want it, or, you know, somebody to see their outfit or whatever. So, and so we have made a consensus, and then we'll entertain a motion that we will aim to collaborate with the police department as well as the fire department in having the trunk or treat. So we will collaborate, and we'll have our own table and stuff, because we have our own table and stuff. So, but then also launch out into the community. And then also, the advertisement with Winterville at Work, I think that will get the word out a little bit more. And of course, that's on the app. So, if there's no more discussion, I would like to entertain a motion for the collaborative effort of trunk or treat with the various departments here in Winterville.
The house in back behind the school.
Yes, ma'am.
Mideast, out of Washington.
Do we know how many?
You know how many, like,
I think it's like six,
Mideast, out of Washington.
but what we can call midi, okay.
It's Mideast out of Washington now.
Okay.
Mideast Housing is a Mideast, another Mideast, but that Mideast Housing actually operates the, housing behind the store.
Okay, and I'm only asking, because I was like, okay, well, maybe we can take flyers and stuff out there, just so we can let them know. For the neighborhoods that you're specifically talking about, you know, going directly.
And it ties into Robinson Heights.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Okay.
usually named. Put it together.
Over Some parents outside, out and about, as well as going in the park and letting them know that we can. I think it's wonderful. Okay, is there any further discussion about our collaborative efforts with the various departments, as well as, is that by the Chamber of Commerce as well? Chamber of Commerce for the trumpet? Okay.
Chamber is responsible.
So thank you, so our collaborative efforts with the Chamber of Commerce as well as the other departments.
So we need to reach out to the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, the Chamber would like to collaborate. And I entertain a motion for this event, for this collaborative effort. Or can I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we will have this collaborative event for the trunk or treat.
I second.
Have a motion made by Mrs. Gregory to have the collaborative trunk or treat event here in Winterville, and it was seconded by Vice Chair Carmen. Have a show of hands and a vote for approval for the motion. And we have a unanimous vote. And so, the Hispanic Heritage, event that we are planning, as well as the collaborative effort of trunk or treat, will be brought before the town council on September 8th for approval. And this is something that I think is going to be wonderful. Then when you look at the other events, I'm gonna ask that the,
So, do we need to wait before we reach out to the Chamber of Commerce before it's approved by the board, or?
no, but you could ask them so that even if you get that information, I could share, hey, the Chamber of Commerce said they would be willing.
Okay.
We just like to get,
All right.
so that it could be abreast of it too. That was a good question. And so, board members, there are multiple things. We are not going to have time, in the spirit of timeliness, to go through them all. We have planned for September and October, and then when we come back in September, we can look at our roadmap for November and December. In the meantime, right here on this very document, anything that like updates in terms of it, the updated document, please add to it. We can collaborate and talk, not making official decisions, but adding to it will make us more proactive. So we have gotten that done.
Madam Chair, I would like to add for February that your budget work will start in February and will be culminated at your March meeting. It will need to be submitted by those times.
Can you repeat that again, sir?
That you introduce and start your work at your February meeting at the latest, and that your budget work would be culminated in your March meeting. That just would be added to your roadmap. Discussion, questions?
I do have a question. I'm not understanding.
Simply.
I know that in July we received, because I heard the word budget, and so I know July 1st, we as a board received a new budget. So when you speak of February and March, can you please clarify?
Yes, department heads, everyone that is submitting and desiring budget money has to submit their statement in February, and it has to be finalized by March. So
For
that it,
July of 2026?
yes, ma'am,
Thank
so
you.
it can then be folded into the budget the council sees at that time.
Thank you, sir. That makes more clear. So when you said.
I speak to that for this board to develop, start their budget
For
for
next July.
26,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Thank you.
And that will be for the 26, 27 budget year.
Thank you. Does everybody understand? You said that needs to be turned in when?
You will need to culminate everything at your March by your March meeting.
Yes, sir. We can do that.
Just wanted to make sure we had it on our radar so that there would be no questions.
Thank you
on
so
that.
much.
You're welcome.
So that helps to us to keep that in mind as well. We're moving forward in February and March, what we want to do and how that will affect next July. So February, March of 2026. Thank you, Vice Chair. So Vice Chair just asked me a question. So as of July, am I correct that the Winterville Human Relations Board had $5,000?
I'd have to check to be sure what that was.
If I can recall, and that is the importance of the meeting minutes that I'm requesting. The minutes keeps us a concrete where we can reference, and so that we all can have that. So we need minutes, and I know you're
I
working.
promised those to you today, and all of you received, that they would be supplied to you by the September 25th meeting.
Thank you, thank you, we need that, thank you. And so when we get those, we can reference back money amounts, what we have discussed, and what we're moving towards.
And that would be static, that's only, you all have spent money since the new budget went in, so it would be less than the amount that was appropriated on July 1.
And that is what we need, because if it was 5,000, we would like the calculations, because we have purchases of table, tent, cooler, and additional items for the Watermelon Festival. So that would be deducted, because that is the only monies used. And that is why we'll know how to plan forward.
Yes, ma'am, and at any point you need a tabulation on those, if you do, you'd make a timely request to me, so it will take a little bit for me to pull those. I'm always glad to pull those.
Thank you. So we will get what we have left, and then that will help us plan forward. Even like when we think about the trunk or treat, that will be monies taken out the budget for us to purchase cans, different things like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I kind of wanted to know, because I did see Thanksgiving here,
That's a big.
as well as, and it's something that we have to make last until February. Mr. Harvey, is that correct? July? No, I'm sorry.
Till the end of June.
To the end of June? Okay,
This budget year goes till June 30th.
okay. So we're gonna have to make it last until.
And then that, so once we look at it, we can use that, because I think like Thanksgiving and Christmas is more the bigger months.
Okay, yep.
Okay,
Gotcha, okay.
any other discussion in terms of, for planning? We have the overview. If there's no more discussion, we'll move on to the third item. And the third item is the youth subcommittee process. With that being said, in October, we asked, and we implemented a youth subcommittee. We've also had discussion about college members, board members. So the last meeting, Town Clerk Harvey shared that he would send something out to elicit applicants at a college level. Just if I could get a report on that.
At this time, we only have one applicant, and I will re-push it back out for high school and college age to submit applications.
And so the applicant that has been on file, that applicant needs to be brought up as opposed to just waiting and waiting and waiting. So that applicant, if I'm not correct, is Shantasia Morris. And Shantasia Morris is a college student who has consistently been volunteering with the Human Relations Board. If not, even not to be on the board as a title, but as volunteer. She has volunteered, she's also willing to, but I would not think it would be beneficial to wait to, the end of September and then October. So I am going to ask that I can bring her name before the council in September because she submitted an application, I believe, in July. And we are trying to push for youth. There are also other board members who do have children who may be doing different and a variety of things. I'm gonna ask if I know Miss Roach's daughter said, we'll volunteer, we'll help with anything, but we're trying to build. And Mrs. Leary's son was at the Watermelon Festival survey. These are great youth in the community that should be commended, and we want to push them to the forefront. Great models, role models. I know Miss Gregory.
She's a little too young to be on that.
Okay.
Yeah. She'll be up there when she's her time.
We will though also begin asking youth in the town. Again, one part of the application, I wanted to see if we could add, and that is parental permission. So when you have a youth board, hopefully the parent is helping that youth to fill out an application. We have college, that's something different than youth. College, mostly they're 17, 18, or 19. They are adults and consigned. I wanted to ask the board, Mr. Harvey, if in the instance we have a youth at age 12 or 13, they're gonna need their parents' permission to be involved in these events. So has there been an instance where when there was a youth committee here in Winterville where there was application or form that allowed for parental permission? And I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
When the youth council I was not active and I wasn't even employed at the time the youth council served, so I'm not privy to the answer to that question.
My son was on the youth council here in Winterville, and there was a form, kind of like an application, kind of with their interests and things like that, so yeah.
Yes, and there was like, you had to sign for him?
I believe I did. I think I attended the meeting also, so yes.
So what we're going to do is via the application that is on file, see if there's a way it can be amended to get parental permission. That parental permission is very important. And we cannot have a youth anything without a parent knowing. Because a child could sign and be coming, and they have to be clear on that. I know Winterville is like a smaller community, but we still need parental permission. So I'm gonna ask that that be amended. I don't know if we need to make a motion for that, but to have a youth subcommittee, we need parental permission. And that needs to be on the application somewhere.
I would say we could still use the existing application with an addendum to it,
Sure.
based on Town Attorney Lassiter's determination on it, at what age they would need to have parental permission, maybe 17, maybe 18, whatever. But I would want to ask him to weigh in on that.
Yeah, and we can ask him for his direction, but when we're thinking about youth, do we cut it off are we saying we're cutting it off at 17, or are we going 15, 14?
I think the determination was college and high school students, but as far as the permission, that would be tendered based on his interpretation of when they would have to have parental permission to be on it.
Okay.
So if he said 18 and the student was 19, then they wouldn't have to have permission. That's only an example.
So this is the youth,
That's,
the youth council we're talking about? Okay.
Where can they access the application? Where can the application be accessed for people that would be interested?
On the web. It's on the website,
Okay.
and all they have to do is also, I can run them copies
Okay.
to them, or I can email it to them.
All right.
Could copies be available in the foyer
Yeah, they can.
right out there? Because some people are telling me that they're having trouble downloading the application for our boards and commissions. So if we had some, right there in that little,
And give them to customer service.
That would be great.
just leave them out there in that foyer.
In the front,
And when that, the
in
bottom,
the,
not in the bottom.
Magazine rack.
Also, Greenville has a youth council. Could we access their I suggest, contact them. They've always been real helpful with me, as far as, getting this board started, getting, approval from our board to get it started. They would have access to, form that would just be like, okay, get it, copy it, that's it,
that would be good. I think that would be very helpful in seeing what they have. In fact, because they probably also had an attorney to look it over and approve, but I will also ear to Attorney Lassiter to look at it for Winterville. I will also be interested in their age limits with the Winterville Human Relations Board. And the reason why I'm asking this question is because there is no youth committee here in Winterville. There is nothing for the youth to do and be involved with in terms of government at the age of 14 and up. So are we just saying college students, or are we opening this opportunity up to middle school students, youth? If we're saying youth, or are we saying upper, teenagers, young adults? There is a difference between saying youth and young adults. So I don't know if we want to pin this and then ask the attorney for his suggestions in terms of age. Take Councilwoman Robertson's advice and reach out to Greenville, because they do have a youth committee, and see what ages they have. I just want to afford every opportunity to the youth here in Winterville, because they have a lot to offer. So,
Madam Chair, present bylaws state high school and college. If you're then talking about another youth council or something else, that would be outside of your all's bylaws and realms. But, and/or the bylaws, if you so desire, could be, if you send them to council for, changing.
That would be like 13, 12, 13 and up.
I definitely think middle school should be included.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As a 4-H
Yeah.
leader, I see children in 4th grade middle school going against the state, different clubs, winning presentations, so I do not think that middle school should be excluded at all.
how do you feel, Ms. Gregory?
I'm thinking, because, you know, if you put middle schoolers, not saying some aren't mature, with college, high school and college, interests vary, and, you know, that's a big gap. I don't know if we can do a youth council with high school and college, and then give them that responsibility of kind of mentoring, or kind of having a monthly meeting with middle schoolers that we maybe, you know, supervise, or, you know, something like that. But, you know, middle schoolers have different interests, which, you know, than a college student would. And there are different populations, you know, in the community that need to speak, you know, to each category, I think. So grouping them all together, but then having a way to, you know, separate them so they can kind of have their voices heard, I think.
Maybe I'm getting confused, but I'm hearing the bylaws of this board, Human Relation Board, say college and high school. But I'm hearing you all talk about a youth council, and I'm hearing a different organization totally. This organization may be involved, but not as members of this organization. Are we talking about two different organizations or one organization?
We're talking about this Winterville Human Relations Board. We're talking about an implementation voted by the council for a youth subcommittee. While the bylaws do say college students, we were having a discussion. There was no motion made, there was nothing concrete. We were discussing, because initially we were talking about parental permission, but we were also stating and trying to see if it is just designated to 17, 18, 19-year-olds. Why is that important? Because we have youth in here, and that's what I'm saying. Youth are different than young adults. So do we want to rename it? Because youth are youth. Youth start with 9, 8, 7-year-olds. So a youth subcommittee, that's young adults. So we could have a subcommittee, a college subcommittee. But if we're saying youth, that is not true or a fact. And I know we voted for it on the council, but we were just simply having a discussion. And where else will we have this discussion and when? So, that is a discussion. And then I thought we said we'll ask Attorney Lassiter, you know, what age is parental permission? Now, us as a board, we could say, hey, we don't want to do youth. We just want to do college right now. Or do we want to open up to younger, which I feel like middle school students are very impressionable, and this is where they kind of get their identity, and this is where their future is formulated. That's just in my opinion, it's not cut in stone. It's just, if we're going to launch out to youth, then if a 15-year-old walks up and say, hey, I'd like to be a part of it, they say, no, you can't, you gotta be in college. That's just, and we can table it. Everybody think about it. Attorney Lassiter will get his idea. Also Greenville Youth Committee, I will surely find out what age they start. And then when we resume in September, we'll have more concrete information in terms of.
So does the bylaws say a certain, what does the bylaw say? I'm sorry, Ms. Dawn. So will we have to change that? Okay.
To allow from a said age, because right now it's just specifically for college students, but it doesn't give an age. What if there's a college student who's a genius and they're 14?
And it doesn't say high school either, so either way there would need to be a change made.
Yeah, age specific.
Okay.
College students have a certain age.
Or we, you know, look at Or I'm thinking, you know, if we're kind of giving the youth council maybe more responsibility, what if they have like a middle school group that they can kind of work on public speaking or kind of getting them prepared for kind of like the debate? I mean, you know, I don't know, kind of giving them more leadership as well. So,
Yes,
Like that.
most definitely. It is exposing them to being, a collective group of positive, youth in the community. And again, this is a discussion. We want a youth subcommittee, but it's been launched out. We only have one college student who put in the application. So maybe more will, and then we can say, hey, it's just for college. But right now, we only have one college, and this has been out. So,
It's been out.
yeah, the youth subcommittee has been voted on, and for high school, this has been out since October. This is going on 10 months.
I've never seen it promoted.
And so how is the information getting out, Mr. Harvey?
Typical manner. The typical, ways that we send things out, yes, ma'am.
So we're tabling it.
So, yes, we're gonna, Mr. Harvey, I'm gonna ask that, and I'll send an email to you tomorrow that, and you'll be on it, that you, as a clerk, ask, Attorney Lassiter what the, age window is considered, for youth, and that we prospectively can make an amendment on the bylaws to extend the ages. And then also, Councilwoman Robertson, if you know the contact person in the city of Greenville for the youth committee, or I think I kind of know the person, I'll try to find out what their ages are. And if you have a resource, that would be great. I'll know just who to contact, for that, for the youth. But in the meantime, we'll table it, but again, we have a youth that is ready. And if we have additional youth that are not in college, or they're high school, or upper middle school, or middle school, I think that will welcome more youth here and whatever.
Even here, there's two different applications. There's one just to be an accountant, and there's an advisor application.
the youth council advisor?
Yeah, there's two,
Oh,
there's
becoming
two,
youth
yeah, there's
advisor.
two totally different applications, so,
And we don't have a youth committee. See, this is the Human Relations Board, and we put youth in as a subcommittee under the board. There is no youth, council. So that, out of date.
okay.
Very much.
Were we gonna make a motion to, you said, Shantasia Morris, to
Yes,
put that up to the town council?
yes.
Okay,
Thank
especially since
you.
she's been waiting, I would like to make a motion that we nominate Shantasia Morris, I guess, to go through the process of the town council to approve her for the youth subcommittee. I second.
We have a motion made by Mrs. Gregory and it's seconded by Mrs. Roach to, push forward, Shantasia Morris, for her name to come before the town council on the September 8th meeting, to be approved as a college, board member and under those bylaws. Can I have a vote, in agreement with the vote that was, excuse me, may I have a vote, in agreement, to show agreement with the motions that were made? And we have a unanimous vote. All right. And then, so, number 4, establish dates for November, okay, establish dates for November and December meetings. So November, we know we have Thanksgiving, and that will fall right in line with our meeting. So we'll probably, let's look at November, board members to see.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I keep pushing my button the wrong way. I just wanted to make sure we got those on the agenda this time. People want to think, because then by next month, we would need to make a decision so that they can be properly notified, announced here at our meeting, and then we can put them on the publications, and that would meet the advertisement criteria for an open meetings. So I will leave that up to you. If y'all want to decide tonight, that is
Yeah, that's
great.
fine, because we know that third Thursday is typically Thanksgiving, so we wouldn't be able to meet then.
The fourth Thursday?
The fourth, yeah.
We can meet the third Thursday.
Okay. So that third?
They're on the fourth Thursday, and those are the ones that conflict with Thanksgiving and
Yes.
Christmas.
Yes,
So the third Thursday?
so the third Thursday, that
November
21st?
20.
So November 20th, we would like to move it up. From that fourth Thursday. If that's okay with the board members. Do we need to make do a vote for that?
I think it would be best, since it relates to open meetings.
Sure. Okay, so November 20th, and then let's look at December so that we can make the motion for both of them. Mhm. And we have a motion, to move the November meeting from the fourth Thursday to the third for November 20th, and the December meeting moved up to, the third week in December, the 18th. Can we have a motion for that, please?
I would like to make a motion to move, the November 25th meeting to November 20th, as well as the 25th of December to, December 18th.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion made by Vice Chair Carmen to change the dates or move the November meeting from its original date to November 20th, and the December date, which landed on Christmas, to December 18th. We had it seconded by Mrs. Gregory. Can I call for a vote at this time with a show of hands in approval of it? And we do have a unanimous vote. So we have our dates set.
What day is the Christmas party?
25th, Thursday the 25th, so 18th is 7 days.
The town Christmas.
Now, I had to look at it too.
The 25th of December?
Oh, no, Christmas party?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
And before we voted, I didn't even
Right.
think about it.
I misheard you.
You ready to say, I know we-
Yeah, I didn't even think about
Christmas
before we
Day.
voted.
I believe that it's on Thursday the 4th. It's early,
Okay.
it's the early.
All right,
December 4th.
December 4th, okay.
And I would encourage, you should have a save the date, and I must not have put my save the date on my own
Yeah.
calendar.
I'm glad you did.
And I encourage you all to come, and you'll get another invitation about a month before to RSVP.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for that interruption.
Okay, any other discussion in terms of the dates we have? We have made the dates, we know it's November 20th and December 18th. And now, the agenda, sets aside time for board member general comments. If any comments anyone would like to make?
So at the next meeting, we're gonna solidify the rest of the month for the calendar. Okay.
I think that would be, I think that should be prioritized for the next meeting.
Yeah.
So that we can have, go on through it.
Yeah.
And then by the time we meet again, any notes that we wanted to add to it, we will have had it in that roadmap. Anybody else have any comments? I just want to, tell y'all thank you for being here, for volunteering your time, for being passionate about what is needed here in the town in terms of, building human relations. Not everybody would take the time to come and sit, in the evening and work through the agenda like we did tonight and have questions. Questions mean that you care. So, having your questions and having a discussion is very, very important and valuable. And I just want to end with our mission statement. It says promoting a community of whole person wellness, dignity, safety, equity, and inclusion for all citizens of Winterville. And then going to, entertain a motion to adjourn. Somebody make a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting tonight.
I second.
Make a motion made by Mrs. Gregory and seconded by Mrs. Roach. And our August Winterville Human Relations meeting